Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Erschen, and this week we are doing a subscribers contest entry. This is for H&S Collectibles and his Road to 1,000 Subscribers contest. Now, of course, I'm a little late to the party on this because he's actually hit 1,000 already. So, congratulations to Cody for that. That's awesome. You're a great YouTuber, great guy. Well deserved. And the contest is still going on, though. So, I'm putting in my entry now. So, Cody has 3 questions, but they're all broken down individually with like A, B, C, and all that. So the first one, 1A, is name a movie that needs a remake. So my choice for that is going to be The Gorgon, which was originally from Hammer Films back in the day, with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Great movie, one of my favorite Hammer films, but the special effects on the Gorgon could have been done a lot better. They probably should have hired like Ray Harryhausen or something, but I would like to see what they would do with that nowadays, You could even have Hammer do it again because they're still around, So I would love to see that. 1B, name a movie that needs a reboot. One that I'm surprised they haven't done yet is The Beastmaster from back in the 80s. Love that movie. It's my favorite, fantasy adventure movie. But yeah, I would love to see a reboot of that nowadays. It doesn't have to be exactly the same and hit the same exact beats as the original movie, but as long as you had some of the same kind of characters, of course Dar with the little ferrets, and he's like the Conan type guy, if you had the main bad guy, as long as you had some of the main characters, you don't have to have the story be exactly the same. So yeah, The Beastmaster is my pick for reboot. Now 1C is name a movie that needs a redo. Now, in my opinion, that would be a movie that they did originally and had a good concept or something good going for it, a potential to be good but wasn't actually good. I'm going to pick Species on that. That was a movie I thought was a real cool idea, real cool concept. It's kind of a horror and sci-fi film, like Alien in some respects, and you even had H.R. Geiger doing the creature design and all that, and some of the set design. But it hurt because it had a lot of that early 2000s CGI, and I think it suffered a lot from that, so I think that hurt the film, and it just could have been better all around. I feel like it was just a cool concept, but it wasn't really executed very well. It could have been a lot better, had a lot of potential, and I would like to see them redo it, give it another shot, and make it better, Number 2A is what movie or movie scene hits you emotionally each time you watch it. Now, my pick for that is going to be every time I watch the film As Good As It Gets with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt. And probably the biggest scene between them was at the restaurant when Melvin Udall, who's like this guy with OCD, and he's very rude a lot of times because he has no filter. He just says whatever is on his mind, and this time he went too far, He talks about Helen Hunt's character and her son who has a rare disease, and he starts talking nonchalant about him, and and how it certainly seems like your son's going to die, and he says it so nonchalant, and she flips out. She's like, "Don't you ever mention my son again." And she just lets him have it, And the horror and the sheer like terror on Jack Nicholson's face when he realizes you just messed up, dude. And you see him like, kind of shaking because he's not used to confrontation. It's such a great scene. Like, the acting is so brilliant in that scene by both characters. That's why they both won an Oscar, Such a powerful, emotional scene. Number 2B, what movie soundtrack / score hits you emotionally when you hear it? And for me, I am going to pick the original Halloween from 1978, and that is the scene, when Michael comes out from the darkness and knifes Laurie in the shoulder, and she falls down the stairs, and you hear that music kick in, the shape stalks or whatever it's called, and you see him like slowly go down the stairs, and just the intensity of that whole like final act from there on. When he bashes his hand through the door and he almost gets to Laurie, but she smashes the glass door and gets outside, and she starts knocking on the neighbor's door, trying to get help, and she's screaming, and she gets to the house finally, and she's like, "Oh, the keys," and she can't find the keys, and she's trying to get little Tommy's attention. Meanwhile, you see Michael Myers stalking slowly across the street. Just the intensity, the tension in that scene, and the music really, really drives it. Next up, number 3A, name the best and worst video game to movie adaptation. And my choice for best is going to be a very recent one. Sonic the Hedgehog is my favorite video game to movie adaptation. I love that movie, And yes, I know it could have been a lot worse, where the original design for Sonic, and they showed that first trailer and it looked horrible, the design of Sonic, but thank God they did listen to the fans and they redid the design, and it looked exactly like Sonic should look, and that made a world of difference. And the movie itself was very good. It was very funny, some great action, some really cool special effects, and they just did a great job with it. And they did a great job once again with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Worst, I am going to say Super Mario Brothers from 1993. That was so bad. Starring Bob Hoskins, and Dennis Hopper was the bad guy. Yeah, really, really bad. Horrible. Number 3B, name the best and worst movie to video game adaptations. Now that's video games that were based on movies. So for the best, I'm going to pick Terminator Salvation, which was a great game in the arcades. And it's an adaptation of a terrible movie. Terminator Salvation was a terrible movie, but the video game was badass. You had the big guns in the arcade, taking out all the T-1000s or whatever you call them. The exoskeletons. Really cool, great effects, great graphics, awesome game. Worst, I'm going to say Batman Forever, and that was released for both the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, and both versions are absolutely horrible. Some of the most stiff gameplay you've ever seen. It just looks so bad. They tried to do the, use real choreography from real people fighting and stuff like they did for the game Pit Fighter. So they were trying to do the graphics like that, but they did a horrible job on it. Luckily, they did master that later on with Mortal Kombat, but they did not get it right with Batman Forever. Alright guys, that's my answers for H&S Collectibles Road to 1,000 Subscribers contest, even though he's hit 1,000 already, but that's my entry, and great job, Cody. You're an excellent YouTuber. Your content is fantastic, extremely knowledgeable. You have an amazing collection. Thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Folks, don't forget to grab your Sean Patrick Erschen gear and represent the Horror Corner. Also, check out these awesome mugs we have, perfect for your coffee. And definitely check out the Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt and represent the legacy of the Horror Hangout. Check out the link in the description below this video.